Good day. Welcome to this episode of Quest for Health. My name is Kat, and my guest today is Patricia, a wonderful woman I've known for 20 years, who is a teacher of yoga and a student of many of the healing arts. Patricia has, over the years I've known her, dazzled me with her vitality, her energy, her constant search for answers and for a better way of living and a better health. So I thought it would be most appropriate to have her here for today's interview. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
We want to know everything that you know about healing, energy work, yoga, all in 30 minutes. Can you do it?
All in 30 minutes. I'll do my very best.
Okay.
So many years ago when I was living in Washington, D.C., I actually heard for the first time that I had to change my career. And I was guided to go into the world of holistic healing. And I started the School of Myotherapy, massage therapy, to understand the physical body, the human body. And I did simply that for a few years, maybe 4 years. And then moving to Brazil, I heard again, go much deeper. And so I again went into the study of Chinese medicine, acupuncture. And after a certain amount of time, I finally got right to the deepest message, go to the root cause of disease, the very root cause of disease. And I was very privileged to study in the United States a system, an offshoot of Kundalini Yoga called Shakti Nam. And in that practice, Shakti is the feminine life force energy, and Nam is the word of God. And so, using that system as a base, I've created my own system of immense healing and the return to joy, to laughter, to spontaneity, to authenticity in those Shakti Nam classes. So the idea of chanting a mantra to begin the class is to clear something in the subconscious that is preventing the flow of light at the cellular level and in the heart and soul. So we always start with a chant, either to remove anxiety, high stress, lack of self-esteem. There are so many mantras one can choose from. And then from there, I spend a great amount of time working with breath, because the breath, learning to master the breath is the key to mastering one's emotions. So there's at least 25 minutes spent on different techniques of pranayama. And it's through the pranayama that the students really come to a deeper place of unwinding. And then we move into a physical practice, and I pay attention. I have the ability to scan each person's energy field and see exactly what they're needing through movement to clear blockages in the meridians and to come to a much lighter state of being. So basically, that is the idea of Shakti Nam. When you're chanting a sacred mantra, you're reconnecting to soul, to spirit. And those people who've been lost and disconnected finally are able to reconnect. And it's very moving to see that. And in addition, I use my meditation classes as a tool to dig really deep, to find out, for each student to find out what is preventing them from being in our essence, which is truly joy and unconditional love and light. So the meditation classes are very powerful. Each week I select a different theme, let's say lack of self-esteem or lack of worthiness, and go and lead them very deeply into that theme, questioning before and after, seeing what they've learned and what key ideas have come up into the conscious mind so that they can actually shift their way of thinking and shift their way of living.
And we are all working in a force of vibration and becoming aware of it is the first step towards.
That's right. Awareness is the key. When you start to have awareness, then life begins to change.
Now, you've, over the 30 years or 25 years that you've been teaching, you've come across a lot of challenges, I'm sure. And a lot of successes, I imagine.
So challenges could be in the area of resistance to change. Many people just don't like the idea of changing the way they think, changing the way they feel, and changing their way of living, their patterns, and even clearing at the ancestral level. First, realizing that the patterns that they are living with have come from other lifetimes and remain in the cellular memory. And one day maybe they might or they might not wake up and say, I don't want to live with these patterns anymore. And then we start working at that level to clear patterns and programs which may not even belong to them. Mm-hmm. So challenges, luckily, I think because of the way I teach with a lot of joy and vitality and really like a conductor, conducting each spirit, each soul, I've had very little resistance. I somehow have the ability to draw out that resistance and put it into a spiritual garbage bin and have them move beyond.
Well, you project something that everybody wants a piece of course, that joy and energy.
Yes.
And vitality.
Well, that's it. And it's something that you cultivate over time. My soul chose to live through some traumas, heavy traumas, and I knew years ago that the only way for me to not bring on a diseased energy is to start working at a very deep level to clear those aspects, if you like, that lead to disease. And studying different ways of healing really has given me the understanding of why some people are sick, really desperately sick, and others go through life without taking on any disease. And that has been my desire since being an adult, just to live this life with perfect health and to take my last breath when it's the time to go. Because I believe that every soul has a specific time period on this earth, and when that time is up, it's absolutely fine to leave the physical body and go to another dimension.
I've always been fascinated by the original arts, the Oriental arts, the martial arts, the Qigong, yoga, this determination to keep the energy going, to keep the health into old age thinking, or to avoid old age thinking that this was just such a hedonistic thing. Okay, I just don't want to get old and decrepit. But in fact, we need to keep our bodies alive and well as long as possible so that our souls can evolve as much as possible.
Well, I think the key is the ancient yogis always believed that unless we connect with our Holy Spirit, with our soul on a daily basis, we will bring on a disease. So
why? To remind us? To teach us?
Well, to teach us who we really are. God beings in a physical temple that's very temporary, but that which is not temporary, which is immortal and has the energy of the Creator, is forever. So when you connect with that, there's no, as far as I see it, there's no way you can continue with the old patterns, the old ways of thinking that create blockages in meridians. For example, to live with fear damages the kidneys. And that all of these emotions and study of internal organs has come through Chinese medicine. So for people who live in constant fear, there's a complete drainage of life force energy. And we know that fear is the opposite of love. So our goal is to come back to love. Hopefully, unconditional love first and foremost for ourselves. To learn that. Yeah. And then there is no longer the neediness to bring in somebody else in life, because you're so whole and so deeply content that if a partner comes in, that partner will be vibrating at the same level. So it would be then a divine relationship. That's what I've come to understand.
That's a very important part of, an unexpected part of the message, because so many people are in relationships that are detrimental and toxic to them.
Absolutely. And this is something that I
And they feel
bring
they have
out.
to work through it, but
But sometimes there's a time period for a relationship, and when you feel that the energies are totally contradictory and not harmonious, it's really time to cut the cords. With love, with ease and grace, and that's okay.
and that goes contrary to so many religions that insist on.
Well, you know, you're living with the constant messages of the Holy Spirit inside of you, with that flame that you connect with each day in silence and meditation, even if it's 5 minutes or in the shower. And you become your own guide rather than the church. So there are no rules or regulations. There's only love. There's only light and pure messages that come through once you learn to connect, open the crown, and receive messages from the realms of light.
That's amazing, Patricia. We're going to come back and talk some more about this. Please stay tuned and see you in a few moments. Now, you went through some of the steps that you follow in your yoga practice, and you said that you have these classes every week. Because what you're talking about it makes eminent sense to anybody, but staying in that space is a very difficult thing to do. I myself experienced it. My husband and I went to Medjugorje, and we were completely steeped in the Holy Spirit, in Holy Mother, and everything, and willing to pray and spend every moment praying, and then we come back here and get caught up in the everyday, and it just falls by the wayside. And then added to the loss is the sense of failure. I haven't followed through, so
Well, you know, I think
need
in,
classes.
in this practice, there should never be a sense of guilt or failure. If you miss a day, it's okay, because there is so much cultivation of Holy Spirit that flame keeps burning. And as far as my life is concerned, yes, I have a very busy teaching schedule and private practice, but I do make a point first thing in the morning or at the end of the day to do the spiritual work. As far as, you know, getting those highs that you received in Medjugorje, well, from time to time, I absolutely have to travel and be in the company of high masters, which I just did last week in Sedona. And end of June, for 10 days, I'll be receiving the teachings of the Christ, given for the last time by an amazing Australian teacher who's coming to the US to do this for the last time because she's getting old. And so these teachings that she channels will enable me to heal at a much deeper level the human body, of trauma, of nervous disorders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then, and finally, this year at the end of September, I've been selected to go to France, where Mary Magdalene lived and worked, and receive the 22 divine codes of light over a period of 11 days. So I feel very privileged. But when you are trying to be a source of inspiration for others, there is that need to keep moving, to keep studying, to go higher and higher and get the very best information. And I hear from my guides, or something will appear on the computer without my looking. It'll just be there, and I know, okay, is this in my highest good? I'll test. And if I get a yes, I just go. So it's a lovely way of living my life and being able to give more and more. And some of my students have said to me over the years, "You've saved my soul." And so, oof, what a wonderful feeling to be able to do that.
We all need to be validated, don't we?
Well,
Because
from time to time, not all the time, because when you know you're doing the right thing, you don't need the validation. But to hear it without asking is wonderful.
it is wonderful, yes. Now, you have a few cases, I imagine, over the years that have astounded you, that have brought you particular delight. That you've actually my goodness, this person wouldn't be where they are if it hadn't been for me.
Yes.
You.
You.
Not me.
Or-
You.
Oh, all right.
No, not me. I haven't done that to anybody. I haven't done anyone in this world that much good, I don't think. But you're a woman who could live your life going around the world merrily, buying expensive trips, just flitting around, having lovely parties all the time. And yet you are aware that that is not a satisfactory
No.
life.
No, not at all.
You have to find a way to share everything that you receive.
Absolutely. I believe that I've been, in spite of the very heavy experiences I've lived through, I believe that I'm very blessed. And thanks to actually my first big experience was when Gonzalo sent me one of his patients. There was just one final thing to do, a young doctor. Mm-hmm. She just finished her studies, I think, suffering from anorexia and depression. Mm-hmm. And I prayed for an answer, tell me what I have to do. I got the answer, we did it, and it was unbelievable to see the transformation just before my eyes. Unbelievable.
Before your eyes.
Before
Wow.
my eyes.
That's what everybody hopes for,
I know,
but it doesn't happen that often.
And my dream is to be able to have the ability, maybe when I study the teachings of the Christ on healing the physical body, maybe it'll come, maybe not. Because I also believe that we do not have the right to heal a disease like cancer unless it is in the person's highest good.
Ooh.
Because sometimes a disease will come in to teach a big lesson. And if the person is not ready to learn, it's not the right time to do the healing. Yeah. So I always ask, I always test before the person comes, is it in my divine right to do a big healing with this person? And I get a yes or a no.
So sometimes a healer is not allowed to heal.
Well, you know, I don't like to use the word healer, facilitator to healing. Healer is very egocentric. The person does the healing through their level of consciousness.
All right, so that brings in the other idea of humility. With everything that you've learned,
Absolutely, humility is really
take yourself out of the picture.
Yes.
You're a conduit.
Yes. Yes. And when I lived in Brazil as wife of a Canadian ambassador to Brazil, a huge role, I realized that I would not survive just, playing the role of partying and a lot of drinking, etc. So I started to work, and I faced a lot of jealousy from other people because I dared to do my work, and I was the only one among 85 missions there. I was the only wife of or spouse working. And I was attacked for that, but I persevered, and I got a lot out of living in Brazil, meeting a lot of Brazilian, you call them healers, if you like. And when I left, I was very much thanked by people high up in protocol for also contributing
To good relations.
to good relations.
To showing the Brazilians that Canadians are open, eager.
Yes, absolutely. So,
Have you had the opportunity to do any work with any of our Indigenous people in North America?
actually not.
No.
No,
Isn't
I
that
haven't.
curious?
It hasn't. I haven't been called.
No.
Not yet.
I imagine that there's a lot of need for them on their part as well as possibly others. It's so hard to figure out what's going on in this poor continent of ours. But as you said, when the moment is right, then the calling comes.
That's right. Every person
can't
has their
force
own.
it.
You can't force it.
No.
And I don't go out looking. The people come to me. Well, it goes by word of mouth.
It's, I tend to go at it with my left brain approach, which is, there's a problem there, let's fix it. But that's out of sync with the way the universe works.
Absolutely. The universe knows what's in our highest good.
Yes.
And there is a timing to, I think, there's a divine timing.
There is, well.
And a divine
And it
plan.
shows because it works if it's
Right.
the right timing, and it doesn't work if it's not the right
Look
timing.
how I met you, the right timing. When I
In the park with the dogs.
park
My
with
life
the dogs.
revolves around dogs. Absolutely. No, they are messengers of something divine. There is no doubt about it. So, all right, you you go around the world, you have that opportunity, you've been blessed to have the resources, the intelligence, the health, the perspicacity to know where you should go and to go there. Many people, I would say probably the majority of people don't get a chance to do that.
Well, and that's
How
why.
do they find you, or how do they find someone like you?
Well, the people here in this area find me because it goes by word of mouth.
Yeah.
And whatever I learn, I give right back out. And
Yeah.
so there's an amazing amount of abundance.
And then people can teach each other little
They
things.
can teach. Well, they can teach family members or friends
Yeah.
if they feel inclined to do that.
Yes.
So
It's hard sometimes because when you learn something, you become so enthusiastic about it. But as they say, a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. And you can go about it all the wrong way and start telling people that this is the way it is.
but I don't think one should do that. You don't say this is the way it should be. I'm offering this to see how it feels and see how it changes your life.
Yeah.
I also teach in Mexico, which is wonderful for me
Oh, the energy there must be just
in the winters.
mind you. You are definitely a South American
Oh, definitely.
spirit. The other day I happened to catch on TV this new practice of, I guess it's a Tai Chi combination Qigong, and the guest was Dick Van Dyke.
Oh.
91-year-old Dick
Oh my
Van
gosh,
Dyke.
oh my
It was
gosh.
amazing to see him prance onto the stage, do a little soft shoe step, sit down, big smile, and talk about how the secret to his longevity and good health is movement.
Movement, yes.
Keep moving. Keep moving.
moving. Absolutely
That can be
essential.
interpreted in so many ways.
Moving however you choose to move.
And so sad how many people reach their retirement years and figure, okay, now I don't have to do anything. What a wrong
It's
approach.
the beginning of your downfall.
Yes, it was funny, very funny. The way he put it was when he was young, he exercised in order to look good, and then he started exercising to stave off pain and disease, and now he does it just out of defiance.
Just out of defiance.
So, yeah, there is some defiance there because you have to have a sense of humor with.
Well, eventually it'll come that humans will live 300, 400, 500 years as they used to. That will happen, not in our lifetime, but
No.
tremendous things are changing now on the earth and in the human body. The cells are changing. So I believe it'll happen, and I also believe that we will be disease-free in the future.
And the work that we're doing now is preparing the way
It's
for
preparing. We're, let's say, light bearers, preparing the way, slowly but surely.
that. I love that idea. I love that concept because so many people feel, oh, I can't do it, so why try? I can't achieve anything.
Well,
But
that's
every
such a
little step.
negative attitude, isn't it? I thank God I was born with a very positive, optimistic attitude. No matter what happens, I'm like Jeanne d'Arc. You go
You
for it. You go for it, and
You
you
are.
conquer what's in your way. You conquer on your white horse.
Full speed ahead. Damn the torpedoes.
Full speed ahead.
Well, it's funny because obviously you and I share that connection of, besides the dogs, of the Hungarian connection.
Yes.
And there is certainly some strength there, but there is also a culture and a tradition of depression. And
Yes.
And-
the great highs and the great lows.
yeah,
And fortunately, I was not born with the great lows.
no,
Fortunately, my father was. My mother was not. And I know with all my spiritual studies that those lows simply do not serve my spirit.
and you can get out of their way or get them out of your
And
way.
they will never come into me.
Uh-huh.
They will never come. I don't invite the darkness in. But it is a daily practice. It's a daily practice, in any time of the day. You sit, you go inside, you see what aspects might be there this day that have to be cleared or transformed. And you do it so it doesn't become a cancerous energy.
Cancer is
diseased
depressing or anything else. Well, I certainly, my goodness, we managed to put a lot into 30 minutes. We did.
We sure did. And a lot of love to you.
Oh, and to you, my dear. It's wonderful. It's refreshing to be with you because you come up with so many ideas and validate them through your very being, through who you are. So it's not like somebody repeating the lines they've read from a book.
No, I think it's
being-
important to walk the talk.
Walk the
Whatever
talk,
I'm teaching,
Now there's a North American line for you.
is that a North American line? Anyway, it's important to have that beingness.
It is.
So it bounces out to people. What is she doing that I need to be doing?
That's right.
You know?
That's right. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, watching this. Quest for health, well, this is it. Look for your vibrations to be aligned, look for your positive energy, and go into yourself every day and check with your body, which is just a recording machine and
Absolutely.
a litmus test of what's going on.
Absolutely.
And then find somebody like Patricia to guide you along the way.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, my
Thank
dear.
you. It was my
Thank you.
pleasure.
See you next time.